decided, oh, they gave it.
They highly prioritize the Vi. They obviously feel like they have an answer to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just constantly forcing engages onto the melee, there's not too much you can do. Yes, you can cleanse any hard CC, but can you cleanse a knockup? No.
I mean, I don't think so. I think it actually specifically says you cannot. So, no, unless the game has changed significantly, but maybe we see the Emilio and the Akogma. Feels like we've seen it once before. It didn't work out as great, but they're going to go for the Aphelios themselves. I mean, if you could still get the Lucian Nami here, get that aggression in that bot side, this is still something that kind of works exceptionally well. The Lulu isn't going to have as much of a, or the Emilio is not going to have as good of a time as the Lulu did either. So definitely some very powerful tools available for Weibo, because they're very happy with the comp they built in the second game, so they're going to bring it back.
And the biggest difference for me in this game 3 is that, yes, you're defaulting back to Lucian Nami up against the Aphelios, but this time with the Milio in that 2v2, I genuinely think it outtrades any bot lane in the current meta right now, where it's easy to pull off and it's always going to guarantee you a win. So if Weibo Gaming, they're going to just put themselves on that timer once again, this Aphelios and Milio is only going to get even stronger. And of course, the Poppy coming out of OMG that can be flexed to either top lane or jungle is going to stop a lot of the angles for Weiwei to find onto that bottom lane, and it's most likely going to go towards that jungle.
I really do hope it does. I really hope it goes into Aki's hands. We know how good he is with this champion, and also it just stops a lot of what you can see on Weibo so far. The dashes, the Qs as such from the Vi, the Lucian. These things will end up being kind of so much more difficult for them to kind of go for, as OMG continue to put down the her into that mid lane and say, look, Xiaohu, we respect you. We respect you so much that we're going to put 5 bans potentially into your champion pool to make sure you don't get away with it. I would like their last one to be a Gnar ban, because I really do feel like that's like TheShy's most comfortable champion, and get him onto something different.
It's a little bit criminal that K'Sante has made it all the way to the 5th ban, most likely going to get taken out by either OMG or Weibo Gaming for that last one, but it does seem like the mid lane champion pool is getting narrowed down so much. Annie is going to get taken away from Weibo Gaming, so that does leave Ahri open for both of these sides, and I think Xiaohu's ideal for this game 3 is are able to look for those on a 7-second cooldown, where Milio, your ultimate will only save you that one time.
Yeah, it will only save you that one time, but it can be a pretty big one to save you. So we'll wait and see where these teams want to kind of go for this particular one here. But the Gnar gets banned away. Thank you so much, OMG. I appreciate you. The Ahri gets banned away as well here by the side of Weibo. So still 6 bans into that mid lane between Creme and Xiaohu, I should say. But I mean, I still kind of think that you can go for maybe a Silas here, but maybe they don't want to get that, steal away that point and click engage. They maybe want to give Creme a little bit more comfortability, knowing there's so many control mages taken off of the board. They can go for that and happily say, like, that's a blind, get the Akali in, get that assassination ability.
Sorry, I've been begging for Creme to pick an assassin for like the past 5 games, and he's finally done it on this 5th game, just comparing himself to the BLG series as well. So we'll have to wait and see how that does. But of course, Xiaohu getting the counter pick, what is this going to be his choice for this game? Lissandra is still a very viable option for the side of Weibo Gaming, and of course, I'm pretty sure, although Shanji has saved his counter for this very last pick, it is going to be K'Sante vs San in the top lane.
Quite possibly. We'll see if he wants to go for maybe anything a little bit crazier, but they do lock in this Jace. It's a hell of a lot of AD damage that you'll be end up kind of throwing into here. Maybe we'll see something slightly different coming out here from OMG. But Weibo, yeah, I was going to say, you don't really want to pigeonhole yourself to being a very early kind of, poke damage as such like that. With all the AD you would be locking in. So they're going to go with the Victor and say that that's a very, very decent pick for them to kind of get the control mages out. And there's the K'Sante, like you said. So going to be K'Sante versus Sion in that top side. Not really much else to kind of save it. But again, cannot stress it enough. Shanji on this pick is so good. He is so amazing with the way he's able to engage, get those solo kills going for himself. And I am very, very curious to see if TheShy can deal with it.
Yeah, it's very illegal that Shanji is able to 5th pick this K'Sante on red side. And the only statement that I want to tell everyone is that OMG only stumbled at that 4th position in the spring playoffs because teams started to ban his Cassante. But this time around, Weibo Gaming, they're willing to let open this champion and let him be in an isolated matchup in that top side against a little bit early. But I'm really impressed that OMG is able to take this series to the distance and really challenge Weibo, because I think Weibo does have or find the most success when this split does just start off. And Crisps, I do also want to highlight that he's on the Nami once again. And Ppgod, we saw in the laning phase that when he is playing something like the Enchanter, he is easily caught out of position. That does result in him burning the flashes very early on in the game. So if he's able to minimize this mistake, maybe that could be the start of something special for OMG in this game 3.
We'll see. The Scion did go down towards that bot side to see if he could maybe go for a bit of a cheeky play, but not to be. Aki taking up the phase rush on the Poppy. It's a pretty common thing to see as we wait to see kind of. We've seen it a couple of times to go with Predator. Where it's a bit more of a run at the AD carry and see what you can make happen kind of vibe. But for the moment, just happy to get the little bit of a Q down, hit the buckler, and then run away with the steadfast presence. Makes you a very, very slippery champion in the grand scheme of things. And this is an opportunity now here for OMG to really kind of have a moment or two to put down some hurt. The Milio, we've only seen it a handful of times. I think this is the 7th time we have it now so far in the split. It's a 4-2 win rate for the moment, but see what we can do now. See what specifically Ppgod can do on the newest of the champions.
The heal's already burned from Weibo Gaming. Ignite also dropped.
It's 2 summoners for 1 there. You get the barrier, but definitely see why OMG kind of picked the Milio. You can see how much more presence they have with this champion, kind of able to kind of bring it in. There's the heal to kind of make sure that Abel doesn't go too far down. But already we're starting to see the pressure coming back in here for Weibo. Definitely utilizing this Lucian Nami as best they can.
This is something you don't see very often because usually Lucian and Nami find the most success after they hit level 2. But as a result, OMG's already burnt the barrier and the heal from just a few trades. And that's just kind of showing that Abel isn't really utilizing his spacing correctly, as we just saw Light Ian off the camera. But a really nice ward from Creme to split out Weiwei just in case Weiwei goes for a really early on gank.
We'll see. Right now, it's just kind of a standard pathing right now. Aki, please, don't flash over. Oh, he's thinking about it. Don't know if he got... He doesn't know he's been spotted out, though. He smells a vibe, but I think now they don't have full vision. They're going to try and see. They have no idea. Nobody knows anything right now. But Aki... He's just kind of waiting for it right now. Now he goes over the side. He's going to see the Weiwei is there. And they have full information of this play. So now, does Aki want to go for something a bit more crazy? He's going to have the Hex Flash in a couple of seconds.
This really is going to be a game of chicken. Who pulls the trigger first? Aki does seem like he's going to be wrapping around first, but they don't really have the setup.
Flash. They're going to go for it. Light now has to get hit by the steadfast presence, but Weiwei shows himself, brings him in for him with his flash Q. Both junglers showing themselves to the bot lane, but neither getting any real advantage.
Nice
they will get the grab him onto Weiwei, but no one else is going to go for it. And this is good, though, from OMG. They kind of recognize, look, we can still go for this regardless. Get the flash out of Weiwei and get the push in from OMG bot lane.
Yep, and Aki does secure himself a bottom side Scuttle Crab as both of the junglers burn their flashes in that exchange. But Aki does have the Hex Flash available, so he can realistically loop around. But there is a very sneaky ward placed in the tri-bush, so he most likely can't recreate whatever he just did. As I'm surprised that he perfectly dodged Weiwei. Either he knew that Vi was there, or it was just very fortunate. Looking on a gank.
See if they can jump on the Xiaohu, who's very calm in himself, just drops down the gravity well, making sure he's not able to get taken out, doesn't blow a summoner from that either. As again, this is just Aki kind of saying, look, we might not be able to get kills, but we can get resets. And I think that's the big thing he's looking for right now, is just to kind of put himself in position that the team around him can get these pushes in, force out summoners early, and then they can get decent resets for themselves.
Yeah, and Aki does secure himself double scuttle around the entire map while Weiwei is tunneling vision onto this Aphelios, but luckily Abel is playing very respectfully with this wave, slow pushing towards them, so that is a huge breather for OMG, as we do have Aki hovering towards the top side, but it does seem like there's going to be no blaze. Something iconic to Shanji and only Shanji on this Cassante is he always proxies on this champion. It's something that he will do every single game, like a bingo.
Oh, good bubble. Great bubble there onto Abel, but Ignite immediately dropped down straight away. as they look to try and trade it back one. It's actually a bit of an equal trade, and this is why the Milio is so powerful. Weiwei now realizing, oh, I can go for this fight. No, I can't. He's got all out and will probably kill me with that Sheen. So proxying, like you mentioned, Shanji just kind of saying, yeah, look, doesn't matter. You can't send anybody here. I'm still going to be able to kill them.
Yep, most definitely. And it does seem like all the action is towards his bottom side. The heal is going to be up for both of these supports very soon, as we have Aki slowly making his way towards this bottom duo, as the Gravitum Gun is running out, so I'm not too sure if they can pull it off with the ward in the lane as well, or in the river.
I mean, Shanji's just free to do this. Aki now up on this top side, gonna have, or bot side I should say, gonna get himself
they know?
a little bit of movement speed. They do not know, and there's the barrier coming out straight away from Abel, but they're gonna be able to try and turn back now onto Light. You would imagine he flashes, because he knows if he gets caught within that steadfast presence, he is going to go down, and Aki having a much bigger presence in this bot side this game.
And that's the Hex Flash difference, while Weiwei is going to take a look at the opposing enemy jungle, but surprisingly, Creme on this Akali is getting lane party up against Xiaohu this early on in the game, so that does allow Creme to rotate towards here, and they can look for another one.
They're going to look for it. They do not have any kind of real catch-up here, and with Weiwei in the vicinity, they weren't really going to fully commit to that one there, and I gotta say, I don't think Aki's taken his like bot side camps really. The blue buff I don't think is actually reset, so the blue buff hasn't been taken by Aki, but he's also not falling behind. That's the crazier thing. It's like, oh, Weiwei should normally be like 4 or 5 camps ahead. No, because Weiwei's also trying to do the same thing, so they're just kind of not doing anything, covering each other in bot side.
Exactly. Both of these junglers were sitting on 28 before Weiwei went back to farming his raptors, but it's really good that both of these junglers have been counter-jungling the opposing proactive jungler. However, you need to remember that this is an Aphelios versus Lucian, and Weibo Gaming once again setting themselves onto a slight timer, but this time around they have a Victor that scales equally as well, so it's not too much of a pressure point for them. But Lucian, I feel like you do want to aim to get those flashes offline as soon as possible, because you want to contest for these early objectives.
Yeah, you really do, and right now it is just going to be, I imagine, a secured objective right now for the side of OMG. They'll get the first dragon of the game. Weibo now up towards that top side, as Weiwei really would love to get his level 6 soon. Should be able to clear these 2 camps and get it, so definitely not the worst case scenario for him. And now we'll see where Aki wants to kind of go. They haven't really warded him out at all, and he has flash, and we know how quick he is to be able to just kind of use that and get himself over walls, so they might look for another gank in this bot side.
Aki is going to start the red buff first though, so a bit of extra stickiness if he does get his hands onto Light, who doesn't have the flash available right now.
No flash, does have ignite though. Be very aware of that, as we can see Aki now taking over this red buff. Won't get level 6 from it, but definitely not a million miles away from it, and now maybe thinking about where he wants to go next. Again, I feel like on this Poppy, he is like playing it as if, you know, you need to gank at all times. Screw farming my camps. He just needs to make sure that he's in a position to get on top of people. Finally, we see Weiwei kind of realizing this and saying, look, as long as my bot lane plays safe, there's not really a big deal, but he's getting himself a bit ahead. But now, already, we're seeing them moving forward and looking to try and punish this flashless Light, who has got the level 6. Aki is here. They're going to be able to jump on top of him. They're maybe looking for Chris. They're a bit indecisive, though, at this point now. Weiwei kind of can jump in on top of this one here. Aki going to get jumped on here, and that's going to be a bit of an escape, you would imagine, here for the Vi. Has to flash at the end of it all, but isn't fully out of the game just yet. One more little auto attack or two, and Poppy gets the first blood. Try and try again. Eventually, you will succeed, and that's the motto here for OMG.
And third time's the charm. Aki finally gets his hands onto the enemy jungler, and that is going to be first blood going to the pockets of the ADC. But I respect this, honestly. This is what we need. Upsetting the tempo, but Shanji going for something more.
Going for a little bit more, as TheShy was very low on mana, so you saw straight away TheShy just having just enough to get that unstoppable onslaught to get him away. This is why Shanji is so scary on this pick. It's going to be about if TheShy can kind of hold him to a fair duel. But let's have a look at this one here again, because again, Light actually gets out, but it's because of the fact that Weiwei kind of overcommits. He realizes he's overextended.
Yeah, Light and Weiwei could have just walked out, as Creme was making his way very slowly towards this fight. Yeah, but this, I feel like they were on different pages. You see Light being a little bit lost over the Dragon Pit, and it was just the Vi and the Nami in this Trife bush, and it was just a little bit of miscommunication coming out of the Weibo roster. Unfortunately, the first blood goes over to Poppy, so it wasn't the ADC. but Aki is definitely fastening up the tempo in this game 3.
I mean, he wants to try and just kind of punish time and time again. Not picking up his camps, going for hard, aggressive ganks all the time. Weiwei and Creme now going to find each other. There's no flash, remember, on Weiwei. Doesn't have his ult available to him just for the moment either. Tidal Wave comes out. It's going to land on the 3, but outside of that, it's just a very, very quick trigger finger here from Weibo. And this is the big problem now, is that Weibo just lost that Tidal Wave while the Aphelios is free farming in bot side. So this is going to be 2 plates 100% over to Abel. And this is looking so much better now for OMG. Oh, TheShy.
The health bars are getting so low.
It's risky, but now Aki looking at Weibo and Chris does get the stun up against the wall, trying to see if he can maybe get on top of him, but the good bubble. Great ult though for the Milio, cleanses the CC, gets the flash out of Aki and they get themselves away. So definitely a little bit overzealous from there from Aki, but OMG still looking aggressive, still looking to keep Weibo under pressure.
And that's the Vi ultimate gone for another 60 seconds with the dragon spawning in 1 minute 20. Weibo Gaming, their angles aren't just... The execution doesn't seem like it's there. As Aki's making his way back to bottom, by the way. The flashes are available for the Lucian and Nami duo. They have to play a little bit more carefully as Vi isn't anywhere near.
Anywhere near for the moment. You do have the Keeper's Verdict to knock people away should you want it. As we are going to see a TP back from Shanji up this top side. 2 plates though for TheShy, so he's doing fairly well containing this this Cassante for the moment. Bubble does land. You still don't have the Milio ult for the moment, so you have to be very, very careful with how you kind of go for this one here. And this is a much, much closer affair. Yes, there's a dragon and, of course, a kill in favor of OMG, but outside of that, not really a lot. TheShy does have ult and flash. One's going to use it now, seeing if he can maybe go for it, but the all-out stops him. Nice stop, flashing away, has a blast cone to keep him safe. And just about TheShy keeps himself alive and well in this top side.
And the worst thing is that Abel picks up 2 free plates with the red and white in that bottom side because of Aki's constant pressure that he is applying towards Weibo's bottom lane. Weibo wasn't able to get anything done on the other side of the map. He had a good 30 to 40 seconds for him to take this Rift Herald, but no, Aki gets the first dragon and the first Rift Herald.
See Xiaohu getting caught on top of here, but I'm not quite sure what happened there. Was it... Okay, I'm going to try to break this one down, but I believe that the exact frame of which the Creme was trying to go in with the ultimate, the Chaos Storm came down, and that does have a micro stun in it. It does stop teleports, it does stop things like that, so, I mean, it could have been it. It's hard to tell, though.
But the animation went off, so surely that's the ultimate or R2 going off from the Akali, but other than that, the ultimate...
Oh. Nice. Nicely done there by Weibo. They get themselves the dragon. They equal that particular one up. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. But either way, it is going to be a dragon and still an equal game. So 1 dragon apiece, 1 kill in favor of OMG. But the gold means that the kill gold doesn't mean anything other than about 100, 200 in favor of OMG.
And that's 5 plates going over to this Aphelios now. And the game tempo is way too slow for Weibo, where they're just slowly scaling or allowing this Aphelios to scale. And we already mentioned this problem in that game too, is that once you really let Abel to be this comfortable in the early game, it kind of seems like Weibo Gaming, they're getting led around by Aki in particular. And we'll have another replay of what happened here, because it was the R1 coming out of the Akali. It really did seem like a solo kill onto Xiaohu, but that final tick of a stun from the Victor stopped the R2 from connecting onto Xiaohu. Another solo kill in top lane.
Potentially TheShy still waiting a couple more seconds. He doesn't have ultimate for the moment. He's just trying to see if he can put himself in a position for it. But now he's going to try and get away, but he just has nowhere to go. No flash and no life. Shanji with the solo bolo, and this is why he's got himself the nickname of Cassante.
And this is what you get for letting the Cassante open to that R5 and allowing Shanji to finally pick it for himself. But Creme, he wants to look for another pick in the bottom lane.
Xiaohu feels like there's something up. He's walking a little bit close to it now. They're going to drop down the gravity well. Flash in to try and stop it. Not
so
quite
close.
Enough damage. Creme not able to get it. And this is the thing. The Victor will eventually just kind of be able to sustain a lot of this burst damage. You can see Creme trying so hard, just not quite finding his mark.
Yeah, I think Creme was playing a little bit too safe. One more auto would have been the difference, but he wanted to get out of that tower's range ASAP as we take another replay of what happened in this top side with TheShy trying to catch this wave in, but he cancels the stun, although he didn't really cancel, it still got him over the wall. And this is just K'Sante doing K'Sante things. TheShy unfortunately didn't have that flash available or the ultimate to escape this time, so in the 1v1, the K'Sante will always outtrade you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Iceborne Gauntlet now, so he's got plenty of damage to be able to go for it, even threw up the emote right at the end. And again, this is looking very good from OMG. Again, game 2 very much felt like they fell behind. They didn't know how to come back from it, but this one, they've gotten more aggressive, they've gotten more proactive, and they've been throwing a lot at Weibo. And again, Weibo feels very null, very kind of passive in how they've been playing this game. It doesn't feel like they really know what they want to do once they fall a little bit behind.
Yeah, I feel like with TheShy on the side, he should really start forcing some stuff around the map because weiwei is definitely struggling a lot on this fight, at least trying to find angles, and that is all thanks to this Poppy pick getting locked in from OMG in this game 3 that is denying a lot of these kill angles that can allow Light to get ahead. Oh my god.
It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage.
I freaking love Milio.
I mean, it does feel like that kind of a champion right now. Very overloaded. You rush the Ardent Sensor as well. So powerful. Rift Herald. Not going to spawn for at least another 2 minutes. You got Dragon in a minute 30. What? I
thought I muted my mic, but I thought I muted my mic and then I unmuted right away. So yeah, I'm a bit of a cough right now.
Sounded like you were saying like a heh for it. Yeah, just like I was like, oh.
K'Sante and Milio goes over to OMG.
Literally. But we'll see if it ends up being too much 200 years or too many kind of front-loaded champions. But for the moment, Weibo have got options. They've got ways of starting fights. We saw how good Crisp was on this Nami at protecting and also just setting up this Lucian for so much of that game number 2. So for me, I'm just waiting to see what Weibo can kind of, you know, wake up a little bit, come back into this game and actually got to give OMG something to think about.
Yeah, especially with this dragon spawning in 40 seconds, that can potentially be another fight for Weibo Gaming to force, but it really doesn't seem like TheShy has any interest in joining in on these fights whatsoever, so it is all up to weiwei. The difference between Game 2 and Game 3 is that Xiaohu also acted as a source of engage, but this game, only the Vi has that hard CC that can lock down the enemy team.
Well, 20 seconds, not soul point or anything, but it would be a nice little boost to get you towards that goal should you want to try and go for it. As we see that the Aki trying to be a nuisance and clear out some of this vision. weiwei just making sure that his vision does not get cleared out by Creme, who's already used the Shroud. Shouldn't be on too long of a cooldown at level 12, but we shall see as the Dragon does get started up. Both top laners have got TP, all summoners available across the board. No one really kind of focusing it just now. There's going to be a recall. No, never mind. It's going to be 2 TPs coming in. Shanji thought about a recall maybe. Moonlight Vigil goes way wide, and that's a lot of potential damage no longer available here for OMG. Dragon down to about 50% HP. Creme seeing if he can find a flank on this backside, but there is a ward. There's a Keeper's Verdict to knock back weiwei, and immediately they look to try and burst down this Dragon. No jungler available, and there's no way you can contest it. Weibo, unfortunately, just get ousted out of this particular contestation. Now do they look for the fight? Bubble does not land. They're just clearing out wards, making sure they got vision, and OMG get themselves back towards the mid lane. Nobody dies. Dragon goes to OMG.
Yeah, and that is just... Oh, I think OMG is looking for more, potentially. As Weibo Gaming, they're just struggling to find an angle to ever pull the trigger because of this Poppy, especially with her ulting away your own jungler, so there's just no way you're going to be able to contest for that dragon. And OMG getting that first push in the middle lane does allow them to get to the objective first, which is something that you never want to be giving over to OMG. And something that we also have to highlight is Creme being an absolute nuisance on this Akali. Weibo can't really walk up because the Akali was consistently looking at the backline, even if the front line does go forward and contest.
I mean, again, it just feels like it's so hard. There's so many answers from OMG to try and stop anything that Weibo want to move forward with. Again, great Keeper's Verdict knocked out the Vi from any kind of contention. Creme looking like he wanted to go for a bit of a 1v1, but it wasn't a 1v1 in the end. Xiaohu had a friend at the back of this particular fight. Now 2 items finished for the AD carries. We can start to see a little bit of a gap being built up now between OMG and Weibo. It's about nearly 3,000 gold. And the Cassante and the Aphelios are definitely the big keepers of that. He should be able to get this tower no problem.
Yeah, and this is what you expect out of a Cassante versus Sion matchup, where later on in the stage, Cassante will have a slight edge in terms of the side lane push, while TheShy on the Sion, he realistically should be just pulling the trigger every single time they have the opportunity into the mid lane, force flashes out, so Weiwei has an angle to re-engage and abuse the fact that the enemy team doesn't have summoners. But we see Weibo Gaming kind of taking the approach of slowly scaling and hoping that Xiaohu is able to get his items, and especially that Rabadon's and Shadow Flame online, so they're going to be able to match the damage of OMG, which is going to be the Aphelios and the Millie in the late game.
We just kind of wait. It's been a slow game. 2 kills in 21 minutes. You're on your 6th game. I could potentially be on 6 games later. I think both teams are definitely trying to keep our energy levels at a solid pace, but can't say
you
that
should
I'm
have
not.
seen the BLG vs RA series. There was like 10 kills at 7 minutes.
Yeah, we're paying the price for it now. We have to make back the kills we got, and now there's going to be like one team fight end of game. It's going to be less than 10 kills in this entire setup. But I mean, it's happy for OMG. This is what they did very well in the regular split of spring. They were slow, they were steady, they made sure they were smart about where they put themselves around the map. Speaking about being put themselves around the map, Xiaohu is chunked out by Aki just as a little bit of a warning shot and says, hey, look, I'm here. And this is the thing, look at the map. Bot lane pushing in favor of OMG. Top lane in favor of OMG. Mid lane controlled by OMG. They are pulling and pushing Weibo around the map, and Weibo can't respond. So little by little, bit by bit, 20 CS lead, 20 CS lead. These are small incremental leads that are growing in the favor of OMG because of how they're playing around the map.
Most definitely, and we see a repeat of how OMG was able to take that game 1 away from Weibo Gaming, and it was from indecisiveness coming out of this roster, and particularly Weiwei. I mean, to be fair, the first game he was on a Kha'Zix, and it's extremely hard to force anything, but this game 3, I understand that you're versing a Poppy, and that even if you don't like counter the Poppy in terms of her ability to gank the bottom lane in the early game, you can't look for anything towards the top side either, because you decided to let the Cassante open all the way to that 5th position, and Shanji is able to get a solo kill onto TheShy, and he's most likely going to find even more pressure from the side lane.
And this is the thing, OMG feel like the ones in control. It feels like that no matter what you throw at them, they have an answer. Keeper's Verdict, the Steadfast Presence, the Milio Ultimate to try and stop anything, even just straight up mobility in a lot of their champions. Right now we're going to wait to see if they want to go for something, because Sanji's on a flank. Didn't even see him there for a moment, but no one really to kind of back him up. He is just going to get a little bit of healing and shielding from his support and then back themselves away. 30 seconds until this Dragon spawns. Kitty, what do you want to see from both these teams?
I want to see a hard engage coming out of TheShy, but I don't know how he's going to get his hands onto the enemy carry because of this front-to-back composition that OMG has able to... they've been drafting for this game 3, but Creme, my eyes are definitely on him for this upcoming fight because he has the potential to just instantly delete Light out of this fight.
Midwave has been dealt with. Xiaohu kind of zoning Abel away, so Abel's about 20 seconds before he really kind of joins back into this fight. Shanji going for a quick reset before he comes back in and TPs on this fight. There is a flank ward for him. You can see it there on the banana bush. Well, the new banana bush, you say there, it's exactly it. He's going to TP straight on top of it. They're going to try and maybe turn on top of him, but that's a Cassante. You're not going to be able to burst him down. They maybe thought it was Xiaohu, or sorry, Creme on this Kali, but another great Keeper's Verdict means it's a 5v4. Xiaohu is out. There's going to be a TP to get him back in. Smite is stolen away by Weibo. Now the fight can really happen. Good tidal wave to try and disengage, but Weiwei has to flash. Good bubble here from Chris. He's keeping his team alive. TheShy trying to see if he can get away, but he's already flashed. He's already been caught out. He's being burnt down. Creme almost gets caught, but he gets his flash to get himself over the wall. Now Shanji lunging into a 1v4 and looks like he wants some more. He wants to get the knockback. Triple knockback. Shanji, you are a monster right now, and you can see how confident Abel is. He goes forward to try and take out some more people, but what a move from Shanji. 1v4, and he sets up his team.
And that's Baron going over to OMG. No jungler, no top side for the side of Weibo Gaming. No vision whatsoever. And Xiaohu is so incredibly low, they can't even trade it for the mid tower.
Light almost goes down. They get themselves a bubble, though. It's absolutely perfect from the side of Weibo to defend their AD carry. They will lose the Baron, but they get themselves a little bit of a consolation prize as the mid lane turret and a kill goes down.
Let me introduce you to Emilio.
Oh my lord! So much damage and the range extension as well onto Abel. They aren't able to convert that into a kill, but OMG, they don't get the dragon, but they'll be happy enough with that fight.
I think that was the most beautiful K'Sante fight that I've ever seen coming out of Shanji, especially when it came to these clutch moments, as Xiaohu instantly got knocked away by Aki with that Poppy ultimate, forcing him to TP into the middle of everything. But luckily, Weibo Gaming was able to deny this dragon away, and they needed to look for a disengage, as Shanji popping the ghost as well, sticking onto Light, as there was just no space being created by TheShy, and without that flash available and the ultimate, oh, he did have flash, but he had to use it eventually. Shanji's just zoning out 4 people again in classic Shanji style, but I believe everyone's highlight in this team fight is him landing this Q3 onto 3 people, and that allowed Abel, who still had the Gale Force, to go even further in. Unfortunately, had to dodge the bubble at the very last second. I think Xiaohu could have died as well, but an overall net positive for OMG. Now they get the Baron, and they get that late game scaling composition rolling.
Watch this bubble. They're going to show it here because there's nothing else happening. Watch this bubble from Chris right now. He knows exactly where Creme is going to go.
Mind control.
Boom. Absolutely perfect there from Chris. I mean, just adding to your claim that he's probably the best Nami in the league. Just so damn good. Does mean that it's a little bit better coming out of that here for Weibo, but it's 5,500 gold down. It's not a good place to be. And OMG looking to try and take a big scalp right here at the start of the year. Or start of the split, I should say.
Now the question is, can Victor wave clear this properly when the Aphelios is shooting you from 2 screens away? As Creme is also working his way in through that topside wave, and they have no reason to be walking into this topside jungle due to the vision control that OMG's been able to set up. And no flashes available on either carries as well, so if K'Sante is able to get his hands onto these people, they might be in trouble.
The K'Sante can get onto the Lucian, who has got 3 items and is very powerful, but definitely not unkillable in that regard. You're so squishy in these setups. But see now mid lane getting pressured in here by Shanji. He looks to try and just kind of keep putting in half the health of the turret just from one demolish proc. It's just so disgusting. Creme died. Not quite sure how Creme died, but Creme died. And they do end up getting themselves that kill over to the Lucian. So Light still very relevant in this game. And Creme, unfortunately, having a little bit of a bad time trying to assassinate this AD carry.
Not too bad, a sneaky pick into Light's pockets, but without these towers in the mid lane, it's going to be so hard for them to even walk up on the side of Weibo Gaming. Also forcing the TP out of Shanji. We're going to take a replay of what happened here. It was just Creme getting caught on the side and locking this Akali down with that Vi ultimate and a follow-up from the Lucian. This Lucian still hurts a lot. But you know who he doesn't hurt? The K'Sante. So if Shanji is constantly on the carries of Weibo Gaming, these fights are going to be really hard for them to fight out unless they play off these picks, and especially Xiaohu going towards that Rabadons for the 3rd item and not the Void Staff. You already saw a slight trade before Creme got caught and it did nothing to this Poppy. So I still want to see Weibo Gaming look for these consistent picks on the side, because obviously Creme is still very vulnerable to these.
Absolutely, and I love the build coming out from Aki as well. Foregoing the Mythic, getting the Dead Man's Plate and the Sunfire Cape just makes sense in my head, just because you're kind of going, look, I'm trying to be a nuisance. I'm not looking to, you know, out-sustain or anything like that. I'm looking to get on top of the AD carry. I'm looking to get on top of Xiaohu. Doesn't matter if I have the Radiant Virtue or not, or obviously wouldn't be building the Radiant Virtue, but maybe a Iceborne Gauntlet, but not to be for the moment, and he's happy with the build he's gotten so far. Stopwatch was picked up and completed there by Creme, so he's going to have that in his back pocket available to him. You would love a Rabadons right now for Xiaohu before the next big team fight, which is probably going to be in a minute 40 around that Baron, as this dragon is going uncontested as OMG finally get themselves on the soul point.
Xiaohu is level 16 now, so he's going to start hurting, especially with that death cap in hand, but not just quite yet. The Baron is going to be spawning in 1 minute 30, so we're praying that Weibo Gaming, they can find a sneaky pick here, but OMG playing very disciplined and working their vision towards that top side. And I'm not too sure how they can really walk in, because this Aphelios is going to really hurt with the LDR, so even TheShy can't really tank it for too long.
I love the vision as well from Weibo, just kind of cutting small, not putting them in the traditional spots, just putting them in little, maybe not the most optimal, but definitely giving them information. So in the Raptor camp, off to the side near the red buff, things that can kind of just make sure they know whether someone is coming in or out of their own jungle. They don't get themselves caught out. Xiaohu finishes up his Rabadon's death cap, so he is going to delete somebody if he gets a full combo off. That is the big thing I'm looking at towards right now, and I love this coming out from Light as well. For going another damage item, getting himself a Hex Drinker, making sure that he's got the survivability should he get caught out by Creme.
And ideally, Creme wants to have his eyes focused on the Xiaohu because we already have a Hex Drinker coming in for Light. Just having that extra bit of magic resist against this assassin, but we see OMG kind of already setting up their vision for this Baron while Creme is constantly pressuring towards the bottom side. So Weibo Gaming ideally want to force something here, but Aki needs to play very, very carefully with how he places the W.
All summoners available. The only thing not up is the teleport on Shanji. Level 16 for Creme. His ultimate is going to hurt. He's got pressure in that bot side and a teleport to use should he want to. There's a blue ward as well in that pit, so they know that the Baron's not going to be taken from spawn. Pushing in that wave on the bot side is very, very solid here from the side of OMG. They know where they can go. They know how they can pressure out this wave. They know what they need to do to try and take down Weibo. This game, despite the gold lead here for OMG, it's still very, very close. We're getting to late game territory where gold means very, very little.
Yeah, and because they see both the side lane is showing towards that wave, they're going to just regain their vision for this top side on the side of OMG. Now resetting for that vision once again onto Ppgod. But I don't know, Weibo Gaming, they kind of seem like they are running out of options very slowly because OMG currently looking like they have the better macro. Maybe they just flip it. I don't know.
Be very, very LPL of them if they flipped it. We'll have to wait and see what they want to... Yeah, just flip it.
There's 6 kills at 30 minutes.
Yeah, I had a big yawn there. It's been a slow burner of a game, shall we say, but it's building up a bit of a tension right now because nobody wants to give up this game. It shows you how much respect is being given to both these sides. They know how good they can be. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. TP going to be forced out from Xiaohu as the Baron has been started and is getting shredded. Creme off on a flank. Shanji trying to play keep away on Wei, and he should be able to get the all out should he want to try and keep him off of this. They are going to try and bring this Baron down. Weiwei, why would you go backwards on that one? He's going to try go in. He got it! Flash is in and gets the smite down. That's going to be a secure there for the side of Weibo, but can they get out with their lives? That is the question. Shanji taking so much damage. Creme looking to see if he can be a nuisance. But they only get the one. It's daylight robbery for Weibo. They get the Baron. They only lose one. They're going to be happy with that.
Look, although Weiwei only has 1 KP at 32 minutes as a Vi, he was able to secure this Baron and bring Weibo Gaming back into this game. Yes, they scale and they finally made it. The death cap in hand for Xiaohu now. They're going to be doing wonders with this Baron buff, but we're going to have to see how this happened because Weiwei somehow ended up at the very back of this team fight as Xiaohu did get ulted away by... he didn't... end up at the back of the team fight, but he just flashed in and stole as Ppgod trying to get a better positioning. That was a classic LPL flip.
And then we go back again. 1 minute till Dragon spawns. And you said that Light or Shanji won't be taking damage from Light. I think Light had something to say about that. He is massive right now with so much crit, so much kind of tank shred as well with that Lord Dominus Regards. So really, really scary prospect for him to kind of run up into you. And now, see what they want to try and go for. The big thing is you got the Shurelya's Revelry finished up. The Ionian Boots of the City as well for Ppgod. It means that his cooldown reductions are going to be so good. His ability haste is huge right now to be able to kind of get these cooldowns back. So we'll see what they want to kind of go for. Light at level 16, just hit it just there. You'd love to have that level 16 as well. And this poke is becoming a bit of a problem for the side of OMG.
Yeah, especially with the Dragon Soul spawning in 20 seconds, Creme is desperately trying to get his hands onto the backline, but every single time it's been a tiny bit unsuccessful because of how well Weibo is grouping up right now. No vision whatsoever towards his bot side though. So Weibo Gaming, they need to face check this.
Will they face check it? That is the question. They kind of have a bit of vision to kind of go for it. Bot lane goes down to the minions as they were pushing in favor of Weibo. It's another little bit of gold, 23,000 gold lead. And again, it means very, very little. The flank of flanks. They have not seen Creme in such a long time. And they're going to see him very, very soon. Here we go. Tidal Wave to try and disengage, to jump on top of it. Aki is already dead. Light is the target, but can he be assassinated? That is the real question. No, the assassin has turned into the assassinated as he just get turned on by Light. But they've killed off Weiwei. And now, can they get on top of the rest of the team? They get the double knockback, but the Akali has already gone down. They go forward. It's all about the Aphelios who flashes in, and they want to try and take them all down. It's all on the Aphelios solutions. They both fall. Xiaohu is still alive, but he is running for his life. Milio to try and get him a little bit of extra movement speed, but it's not going to be enough. The dragon is still alive. Drunglers are dead. That was a team fight to end all team fights.
That's a 3v3 trade, and no one's gonna be starting this dragon anytime soon, as Xiaohu barely lives on 1 HP. I wouldn't be surprised if Xiaohu comes over and just starts this dragon straight away, but Shanji does have that TP available. What a fight, because we had Light in the back of everything and just killing Creme himself, but he was a little bit too overextended, and then Shanji realized that this Lucian was becoming a very big nuisance. But while that was happening, everyone forgot that Xiaohu is a 3-item victor at level 18.
We can see Creme does not have the damage to kill off this Lucian at this stage. The Lucian can kill you, and now this will be sold for OMG. Could be huge for them. They have none of their damage dealers on it just yet. Weiwei coming in here from the backside, maybe looking to try and steal this one away. Knows he's not seen. Maybe another little steal. He's gotten 2 so far this game. This could be to try and delay the game a little bit more. Double TP coming in. That's going to be Xiaohu and TheShy here. There's a TP on the backside. That's going to be Creme coming in on the backside of this fight, looking to try and maybe get an assassin as well, as he knows there's no real kind of damage protection here. There's no vision for the side of Weibo. This could be perfect. This could be amazing. This could be everything they want and more. Shanji just about gets the Galgo sword, but the all out to try and make sure TheShy cannot get anything going. The Keeper's Verdict keeps Creme alive. TheShy goes down, and OMG go back to the dragon.
And Shanji doesn't die throughout the entire fight. He still has a TP available, so he's just going to TP, maybe even looks for a flank with that minion wave in the mid lane. And Weibo Gaming, they're desperately trying to deny this, but Xiaohu, he can't find his poke.
Weiwei's got to get this. They know how powerful this Ocean Soul would be for a team with a Poppy, a Cassante. There's a great Moonlight Visual. A lot of damage! And not able, picking up so much there. Xiaohu, who hadn't got a chance in hell. Soul confirmed, and now OMG, they may try to run up mid.
With double laners down, Weibo Gaming, they are looking desperate. I don't think they have what it takes to defend this final push from OMG. They're going to look to end.
They're going to look to end. They're so short range. They got to defend at their Nexus. That's what they decided to do. They're going to have TheShy back in 8 seconds. OMG at 38 minutes may look to try and end the game right here, right now. They don't have Baron. It's just an Ocean Soul. There's a Tidal Wave to try and disengage. Creme takes a lot of damage there from the Lucian, and the Lucian still does a hell of a lot. Ppgod does get taken low. Weiwei almost destroyed, but he still stays alive. That's the important thing. As long as nobody dies, the death timers are irrelevant. As he jumps onto Light, he is assassinated by Shanji. Shanji on this champion just hits different, and he hits hard. OMG will pick up their first scalp of the season, and you can see how much that means to them.
What an amazing team fight to wrap everything up, as they upset the entire series, taking the series to 2-1 up against Weibo Gaming, and they pick up their first win of this summer split.
A close, tense game, but OMG showing that they have got the resolve. They have got the team fighting prowess, which every LPL team needs if they want to try and succeed. We could get a little excited for this team once again. It was a very rocky start for them. They went 0-2 down to BLG in the start of the season, but now in the second series, they were able to take down Weibo, who took down JDG, and we come back into this circle of suck coming into it. This team beats that team beats this team. This is what makes the LPL so enjoyable to watch. You just do not know who's going to show up on their day.
And there is